lost. Not that I'm a sore loser, because I'm the first one to go and congratulate you. Mm-hmm. I can't stand a sore loser, bro. If you lose, the better man won.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
Yeah, you know, boxing right now, again, it's on a high.
Yeah.
It's on a high, and
I miss the days of those big card events. I love them.
Yeah, they're all now in Vegas. Atlantic City, since it's a rundown city, you know, the big promoters don't want to do nothing
Gotti's
there.
gone since Gotti left. God bless him, man.
Yeah, so it's a tough sport.
Arturo Thunder Gotti.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you've raised some big boxers.
Yeah, I had Andrew Six-Head Lewis. I had Hector Acero Sanchez. I had Carlos Tamara. Now the Cuban, Yordenis Ugas, who's done good things. We just lost. We unified the titles at the AT&T Stadium with Earl Spence, and we lost. But that was a huge event with the owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
He greeted us over there. They treated us really nice because it was over 40,000 fans.
But they beat Pacquiao to get that fight.
Yeah,
so they
we beat
retired.
Manny
They
in
retired
August.
They
Pacquiao,
retired.
right?
Yeah, he retired.
Yeah, we beat Manny in August, which is that belt.
Right.
And then we became the super champion. And then we unified with Earl.
Which is a huge thing in the boxing world.
Pay-per-view, huge.
Yeah, just
one of the biggest fights of the
Biggest
year.
fights, yeah.
It was our fight.
What's coming up next? You got anybody in the pipeline?
We're talking about fighting Keith Thurman, and that's a good money fight. I would like him to do 2 or 3 more fights and then retire. He's made a couple $1 million, so you know, boxing is tough.
So as a trainer, you become really emotionally invested in your fighters.
They're your sons, man.
That's his son.
So when you see them in there and they're taking a beating, like you know they're taking a beating.
I cried, bro.
What's it feel like? That's what I want to know.
I cry. I still cry like a baby because just because you don't want to see him, like I'm with him all the time. He becomes like my little brother. My fighters are 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. They're with me. So now you got your eye closed.
And they want to please you like a little brother would want to please a big brother.
Like this fight with Ugas, I wanted to stop the fight in the 8th round. He wanted to keep going, and then the doctor stopped it. If you see the fight, his eye was closed shut. He couldn't see.
Yeah, I never understood that watching boxing, like how like a guy's mother and his wife is in the crowd. You know,
It's tough.
and
then you
to
know what?
see
The
him up
next
there
day-
getting his ass beat,
The
I'd
next
be like,
day, bro. The next day. Because you got to understand, right now, you just finished fighting. Your eyes closed, your nose is busted, your jaw's hurting. Imagine you to go to sleep that night.
You're not. You're probably not.
And you continue to swell. The next day, you look like Martin Lawrence. No, seriously. I mean, and everything hurts. I remember a fighter, Hector, he couldn't lay his head down. And he called me, Coach, everything hurt. I can't even lay my head down or go to sleep. Everything was hurting.
Well, that was one of the biggest scenes in the movie Creed. All right, so Creed's talking to his, I guess it's his stepmother, and I guess it would be his stepmother. And he wants to get involved in boxing. She doesn't want him because obviously she lost her husband. But he says, you weren't there when I had to lift your father off the toilet seat after a fight and put him to bed and wipe his ass and do all that stuff. And nobody was there to see that stuff. Yeah, you saw him on TV and he was Apollo Creed and he was all great and everything. But you didn't see this stuff afterwards. And that always stuck with me. That one scene always stuck with me. Because, you know, the day after is always, that's when the pain really is. Especially if you lost.
People don't see that.
Especially if you lost. Then it's equal. Because
Oh.
then your ego.
Those were the longest flights, bro. When you win, you want everybody to see you. When you lose, those are the longest
but see,
flights.
now that's another thing. Like, do you fly out the night of the fight?
We fly the next day in the morning.
I was gonna say,
first
so-
thing out, we want to leave.
So, you know-
win or lose.
We
did a lot more. I've been blessed. I thank God. We did a lot more winning than losing.
Yeah.
But when you lose, man, it's a
you
long
gotta
flight,
sit
man.
on that plane, man. That's gotta be rough. I
and
mean,
then for me,
your head
I'm
hurts
used
you.
to winning. Like it hits me more as the days go on, man. It bothers
And
me, man.
you replay it in your head?
Yeah, I'll be like, my wife is like, babe, already stop. I'm like, fuck, man, we lost. Not that I'm a sore loser, because I'm the first one to go and congratulate you. I can't stand a sore loser, bro. If you lose, the better man won. That's it.
Well, that's part of sports in general. You got to learn how to lose.
I teach that even with the little guys. When a little guy cries, that parent should take him to the winner. Talk to him. It's okay to lose, bro.
There has never been one
72,
athlete.
72 Dolphins were the only team to win every game. That's it. That's it. Everybody else lost.
There is no
perfect.
athlete in history that can say they went from start to finish without losing.
Yeah, only Mayweather, but.
Well, yeah.
Sure, he lost a couple amateur fights here and there.
I thought Jose Luis Castillo beat him.
That was a good fight.
So but Mayweather did lose in the Olympics.
Yeah,
Close one. They took it from him, though. They took it from him.
But he felt that, and that's the
that bothers him till today.
That changed him. That did something to him.
You got to feel that loss, and I teach that in the kids that I coach now. You got to be a good loser.
Very important.
Head up. You didn't. Did you play your hardest? If you played your hardest, there's nothing to be ashamed of. And
you're teaching them right.
But the boxers, what comes out of the if you're sitting on the plane, cameras are off, nobody's around. What's coming out of the boxer's mouth?
What he could have did to win, and they turned to me, and the first thing I say, look, the better man won. Now, you could have jabbed.
Today, the better man today won. Yeah,
you could have jabbed. You could have used some more combinations. I was telling you what to do, and you wouldn't listen. Some fighters, because the fight gets hard, they shut down. As you know in sports, when you guys got a tight football game. Sometimes they're not listening to the plays because the game is so tight. They're worried about how tight the game is. So you got to always listen. A good fighter, a good athlete is an athlete that listens to their coach. You know, I could be the best coach in the world, but if you don't listen to me, it doesn't matter. I tell people if it was easy, anybody could do it. So in order for you to be better than that other person, you got to work harder. You got to listen. You got to do
hard work beats talent, especially when talent
every
doesn't
day.
work
Talent
hard.
doesn't work
Every
hard,
day.
yeah.
Every day.
You know, and that's another thing. When they're in the ring, they're not seeing the big picture. You know, they're only seeing like what's in front of them. You being on the side, being the coach, you could see the whole picture.
We see it all.
Yeah.
We're the third eye.
Yeah.
We're the third eye. And remember, you're getting punched, bro. Now your eye swelled up. You got headbutted. You got cut. That changes everything. That changes the way you're thinking as a fighter. So I put myself in my fighter's body because now I got cut. But that hurts. And then your eyes close.
And the
You're
blood dripping
bleeding
over
through your
eye,
nose. As a trainer, when you come back, I got to clean you out. I got to do this. And you're like, oh, I'm losing. Am I losing? Am I winning? It's nerve-wracking. You got 1 minute to make it all happen and get the hell out of there and go down.
For another 3 minutes, and then 1 minute, and then another 3 minutes.
It's like the race car drivers that change the tires.
Yeah, pit stop.
When you're in the corner with a especially at a high profile fight, you're in the corner. What are you saying to them? I mean, are you focusing on? I guess you got to try to keep them positive.
100%. You got to stay positive, even when it's not positive.
Yeah.
You got to stay because I can't tell you, hey, John, you're fucking up. You're getting fucked up, man. I can't do that. I got to say, listen, the reason you're getting hit with that right hand is because you keep going to the right. Move to the left. What have we been practicing in the gym? Come on, you can do it, brother. Let's go.
Right.
You know, or I remember for a world title fight, I used Acero, I used his son. I said, your son is watching you right now. Do you want him for you to lose? And that woke him up. That was like that when I told him your son is watching you get beat up because you're getting beat up. That woke him up. That was the trick that did it, using his son.
But then with all of your fighters, there's an expiration date. There is a time to hang it up and this is something when you fought. There's a point where you say, I'm done.
Yeah, that happened now with I got a real popular Peruvian fighter, Jonathan Marcelo, and real popular. The guy's the most famous guy in Peru, but he's 38 years old already, and now Top Rank was calling me to fight tough guys because he still has a good record. I love him like a son, and I told him I'm not gonna make money on your blood, bro.
Then you're a vampire.
Yeah, he's got 3 restaurants. He's got 2 boxing gyms. So he's done good. I did good by him because he made a little bit of money and he invested it. But I said, I'm making blood money from you. I love you too much. I can't do it.
Right.
I said, it's time to hang it up. And he cried and he said, I could still do it, coach. I said, everybody could do it. Everybody could still do it.
You want to end up like Muhammad Ali,
one
not
of the
talking properly?
One of the things, and that's the point I'm leading up to, they call it like punch drunk. You know,
I see it all the time, bro.
You see,
they speech.
I mean,
slurs.
you talk to people playing football. Concussions are the big thing in football now. Boxers take more hits to the head than football players do.
Did you ever see
But
Jerry
there's never-
Quarry at the end of his life? Jerry Quarry. So
You
Jerry.
gotta see Terry Norris.
So Jerry Quarry fought Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
At the end of his life, Jerry Quarry couldn't even talk. It was
That's,
so sad.
Tommy Hearns.
Tommy Hearns. In all fairness, Tommy Hearns could never talk while he was boxing.
Yeah, but he's bad.
Vito Antuofermo.
Oh, Vito Antuofermo was a tough son of a gun.
I saw him. He goes to a restaurant that I go to in Bayonne every once in a while.
Oh, Bayonne.
And
his
walks
son
in.
works at the dealership
Yeah.
at the Chrysler.
He walks in one day and says to the owner, he knows the owner, and they take care of him. He's like, hey, what am I having for lunch today? They said, Vito, you just had lunch. He said, oh, yeah. Turned around and walked out.
Yeah, it's actually
gotta be
sad.
tough. I mean, you know, they talk about all the CTEs with football.
No, it's bad.
You know?
It's bad. And boxers don't have like a fund.
Yeah.
You see 90% of them are broke.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the NFL, they get you know, they get all their health plans and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's different. We
Boxing,
don't have a league.
Yeah, exactly.
Boxing doesn't have a league.
You think that's ever going to change? Because they got to take care of these guys.
Teddy was trying to do something about that, but nothing's come about it. The promoters don't want it.
Of course, they lose money.
Yeah, exactly.
They lose
It's
money.
about money.
You know, you put a union.
You put a union in, yeah.
Put a union in. Put a union
They
aside.
don't want it.
But you know, are you going to be that first one to step up and say, "Yeah, I want a union"? Well, guess what? You're never getting signed to a contract. You're
Top
never
rank, top rank ain't calling you again after you
Bob
do that.
Arum will say, don't pick up that call.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a business. Bob Arum. Now you got PVC, Al Heyman. He's a big dog. And De La Hoya. There's very few promoters because boxing has changed a lot. Before it was Don King.
Right.
Yeah.
And Bob Arum has still been around, but a lot of the boxing has changed now.
You know, it's a sin because when it's time to hang up the gloves, you know, these guys have been fighting their whole lives. They're not college educated
what to
people.
do.
So what do you do? What do you do? You know, some of them will go into the training aspect, and they got a name, and they can bring a name into a gym
Very
or something.
few, though. Yeah, very few.
But other than that, they have to re-enter society where it's different. It's different in most pro sports. You know, even MMA fighters. They open up a school, they'll be fine. Pro boxers, what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
It's different, yeah. It's different.
Yeah, but like you know, in law enforcement, we retire from law enforcement, we could get maybe a security job or you know a consultant job or something like that.
Oh,
in boxing, once your career's over, it's like, where do I go from
You
here?
got
What am I
cuts
going to
all
be a street
over.
fighter?
Yeah, you don't know how to talk. You can't talk right. They from my experience, a lot of the fighters are lost. When they can't fight anymore, then they're lost. So
You're taking away their identity.
Yeah, a lot of them become homeless. I saw the Verwet the other day. Guy that fought Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. He's out in the street, man.
That's my family.
Yeah, that's a sad thing.
Yeah.
Banging.
Well, you know,
Oh, man.
and that's the thing. You know, me and Kevin are both retired, and it was tough. Something that you put your whole life into, a career that you put your whole life into. Now your career's
It's not
over.
easy. Yeah, it's not
you know,
easy.
when your boxing career's over,
Yeah, you guys
What do you
always
do?
always have an out, especially in law enforcement.
Well, we have a pension system set up.
You're educated, too.
Which is why we chose our profession.
not Kevin so much.
No, not that
He's
much.
not that educated.
Not that much. But we have that in place because a long time ago, it wasn't so much. And in other states, it's not like it is in New Jersey. New Jersey is very fortunate where we have all those systems set up. At some point, boxing is going to have to change. You know, either it's going to be having to pay for health things down the line because
I think that's going to help it change.
it's got to, because if you were a brand new parent and your young son, 10-year-old son, I want to go box. What are you going to think? You're in boxing, so it's an unfair question.
Yeah.
But somebody
but
who's not.
It's not the out, man. I would tell them, listen, do it to get in shape and learn discipline and self-defense. But to try to make it a career, that's not the way to go.
I mean, how many boxers really do make it? You know,
Listen, I've had tons of fighters. This guy and another guy two welterweights have made the most money, $2 million each. But that's out of tons of fighters I've had. Two. And then I've had other guys who've made $200,000 a fight and stuff. But like this guy is different. That's $5 million a fight. It's another, but that's rare.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't.
But see, everybody sees
rounder, $1,500.
Everybody sees the glory end of it. You know, like you said, all these big time guys making millions and millions of dollars. They don't see the other guys, like you said, getting your ass beat for $1,500.
People are always looking at the finish line with everything, and I'm sure at one point in your lives you looked at the finish line and say, "I'm going to be here."
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like that guy. Like Benny, you say you grew up on the streets where you're admiring these people who are into some bad stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be there. Well,
Benny was there.
Yeah, Benny was there.
He changed his life. I'm proud of him.
But there's that progression in order to get either down the wrong rabbit hole or down the right rabbit hole. But Butch, you've spent your time in the boxing ring, but you got a worse fight going on now.
The fight of my life now.
You got the fight of your life, and why don't you let us in on what the new fight is?
Well, I about 4 years ago, I worked at the hospital for 35 years. I was security guard at the hospital in Hoboken. 4 years ago in the emergency room, I passed out. And then when they
were in the right place.
I was in uniform. I was working. And when they rushed me in, they was like, "Oh my God, you're suffering from kidney failure. Your kidneys are at they were like at 8%." So they took me to intensive care, and they gave me blood. Had to give me blood. My anemic level was 4.
Holy cow!
The doctor said, "How the hell are you even standing up?" It's amazing. But anyway, they rushed me to intensive care, and they had to give me a couple bags of blood, and I was there a couple of weeks in intensive care. And right from there, they put the catheter in my heart, which I still have.
What do you got? The port?
Yeah,
Port.
the port.
Yeah.
I got the port to do the dialysis. I had to do dialysis immediately because my blood was so bad that they were scared that I was going to have a massive heart attack.
So, what is there any reason for this? Is it a genetic thing, or is
diabetes and hypertension? And excuse me, but my fat ass eating cheesecakes and see, I never did drugs in my life.
Let's just say diet.
Yeah, my diet was terrible. I never did drugs. I never smoked because, again, I wanted to be a role model to everybody that looked up to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you could do it without ever. I never even tried marijuana. Nothing, because I wanted to pride myself on that, to be able to say, I never smoked weed, never did no drugs, never ever. So I pride myself. That's my pride even to this day, that I'm 53 years old. So anyway, they rushed me to the intensive care. I was there a couple of weeks. They put me on dialysis immediately, and chronic kidney disease. And you know what? People are like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Don't feel sorry for me. First of all, I did this to myself because of my bad eating habits.
Which is actually the worst thing, because you can't get mad at anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if it was genetic, you did it to yourself.
The French crawlers and all the other crap I ate. But I tell people that in my position, I think I was put in this for a reason.